As a representational body, political interests drive the legislative branch. On any given day, a senator or representative can have meetings focused on issues like agriculture subsidies, high-tech weaponry, wetlands protection, local transit projects, stem cell research, educational testing, and on and on. The number of issues facing Congress is enormous, and the multiplicity of the constituencies they represent continues to grow. Therefore, members must make policy decisions based on their own beliefs as well as the needs and wants of the constituents they represent. Facts and evidence matter, but in the legislative environment, substance may not always carry the day. When approaching Congress, many federal executives may make the mistake of believing that if they can make a good, factual, and statistically based argument for a program's efficacy, Congress simply cannot reject it. This is especially true for managers representing agencies where the scientific method rules. Statistical information provides undisputable evidence, and black and white results are prized. The Hill, however, is full of gray. Facts, evidence, and statistics all matter in the legislative process. But if federal agents are not cognizant of how many stakeholders are weighing in on any given issue, they are missing important ingredients in the congressional decision-making process. To really stand out, federal agents must look beyond the substance of their programs and develop relationships with constituencies that value their work. In short, they must build stakeholder support. This outreach process can strengthen an agency or program position with the legislative branch in two specific ways. First, by identifying supportive stakeholders, executives build political cover for their work and make themselves less vulnerable to congressional intervention or funding cuts. If a member of Congress receives multiple points of input about a federal project or program, specifically if these contacts are coming from their home district or state, it becomes much more difficult for them to arbitrarily cut or criticize the program. Pushback from a variety of district or state interests creates an effective political buffer. The second way is to build stakeholder support for programs and projects. Doing so gives federal executives a real reason for dialogue with congressional offices. It also gives them the ability to develop working relationships that may not have existed before. For personal congressional offices, anything that the government does in their district or state is important, and they want to know about it. If an agency builds local relationships in a district or state around their activities, they can provide the member of Congress with a comprehensive picture of how those activities impact his or her constituents. As mentioned previously, personal congressional staffers pay particular attention to impacts on the member of Congress's district or state. The federal agents that can provide such evidence and support are highly valued as politically perceptive providers of information. Within committee offices, stakeholder information is valuable because the goal of committee staffers is to build political support for the chair's policy agenda or the ranking member for the minority staff. By identifying the stakeholder support for a given program or project, federal executives are providing important information to the committee staff. They are also able to build valuable relationships with those who have oversight and budget authority over their programs. Effective congressional lobbyists know all about the importance of stakeholder support and use it to their advantage when working an issue on the Hill. A common misconception about lobbyists is that they cozy up to members of Congress, slide campaign contributions to them, and then, by the power of their personal relationship with these members, influence legislation. That perception is, in fact, a fallacy. Lobbyists work hard to be recognized and personally known by members of Congress and their staff, so that when an issue comes up, they are not making a cold sales call. However, their persuasiveness with a member of Congress hinges on the political stakeholders in favor of their issue. Prior to approaching a member of Congress on an issue, an effective lobbyist has done their homework by bringing together a coalition of individuals who can have maximum impact on the target representative. Rarely can a single lobbyist get a member of Congress to agree on an issue. Instead, they recognize the power of stakeholders, build mutually beneficial relationships with these individuals, and then utilize the collective force of these key groups to champion their cause and make their case. Executive branch managers are wise to reach out to those constituencies that value their programs and make sure a communication channel exists.